The Star Wars nut I've never cracked. So I've had the pleasure of illustrating a lot of Star Wars projects over the years, official Star Wars projects, everything from, man, book covers, posters, toy packaging, apparel, trading cards, the whole bit. I have had just so much fun with all of it. But the one nut that I've never been able to crack that I've always wanted to is Star Wars comics. And let me tell you, it's not because I didn't try. Oh my gosh, I have wanted to illustrate Star Wars comics forever. It was one of my first loves. In addition to loving the films, I grew up with Star Wars comics, and I was fortunate enough not only to work on a lot of Star Wars art, official art, but also comic books of all kinds. Never got to illustrate Star Wars comics. And oh my gosh, man, I put together so many sample pages and everything. And, always met with editors at Dark Horse, and they were always friendly to me, but they always had weird reasons why they didn't want to go with it. Sometimes it was, I remember at one point, one of the editors had said, you know what, no one really wants to read painted comics. And I thought that was really strange because at the time he told me this, the #1 comic was Kingdom Come, painted by Alex Ross. So I thought that was weird. Now, to be fair, hey, if they don't like my art, they don't like my art. Not everyone is always going to like what you do, and that's totally fair. Also, now that I'm reviewing these samples, you know what? It's not my best work. This stuff is old, but man, I had a blast kind of putting it together, and I had high hopes. But I didn't get to do Star Wars comics per se, but I did get to illustrate a lot of other really cool things in the Star Wars universe, and had a blast with it. A lot of these you may kind of recognize because these later they got turned into animation samples that Sean Sheehan and I put together when we were pitching a animated Star Wars cartoon. This is actually before Cartoon Network had their cartoons going on. So there were some really cool things that we did with this. Some of these ended up in the You Can Draw Star Wars video, so you probably recognize some of these. But I just thought it would have been so cool. Maybe one of these days, and I'll tell you what, I actually have a former student named Jim Toe, who you've probably seen in some of the videos. He is an illustrator for Marvel Comics. He's illustrated Spider-Man, Deadpool, Avengers, all the things. He's actually now working on Star Wars. Super proud of the guy. And man, there's so many things I want to do in this lifetime. But one day, I don't know, I think it would be really cool to illustrate Star Wars. What do you guys think? Would that be cool? Would you guys dream of one day illustrating Star Wars? All right. That's all I got today. Sometimes you hear about all the things that that go well for an artist, all of the cool we talk about our successes and the things that worked, but for everything that does work, there's a lot of things that we are pitching that don't work, that kind of fall through. But you got to stay on. You got to stay on that horse. And, I could have let it really get me down that I was never able to do. Check these out. Those ships were at one point going to be in episode 1, and then they never made it into the final product. A little tidbit for you. But anyway, you want to keep the dream alive, and you know what? You roll with the punches, and you get to what is real, and focus on that. Stay positive. Keep the dream alive. That is what's up. All right. Be good to one another. I will catch you guys on the flip side.